Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for having me. I thank you. Thank you so much for having me. Okay, so as was said, my name is Camille McIntosh, and I'll be doing the presentation for you this evening. And we'll be talking about pregnancy nutrition. So I will just go ahead and share my screen. Okay, thank you so much. All right, so without further ado, let us begin. Most Holy and Divine Father, we thank you again for the awesome knowledge you have given to us to pass on to your people. Lord, I ask that you may be with me and be with the persons who will be listening. Help them to understand my intonation and the information that I will be giving so that they too can prepare themselves and their children, your children, Lord, that you have given to them for eternal life. I ask that you may bless each and every one of us that is here and that will listen to the presentation. Thank you. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Okay. So we were talking about pregnancy nutrition. All right. I think I have the wrong slide. Sorry about that. Okay. So we are going to be speaking about the importance of food. Our bodies are made up of the food we eat. There's a constant breaking down of the tissues of the body. Every movement of every organ involves waste, and this waste is prepared from our food. So basically what it is saying is that our bodies are made up of the food we eat, and as the food is digested, as the body moves and does what it needs to do, all the cells, they give off waste. And we need the food that we eat to expel those wastes. Each organ of the body requires its share of nutrition. Each organ. So that's the kidneys, the liver, the heart, the uterus, each organ requires its share of nutrition. The brain must be supplied with its portion, the bones, the muscles, and the nerves demand theirs. It is an important process that transforms the food into blood and uses the blood to build up the varied parts of the body. But this process is going on continually, supplying with life and strength each nerve, muscle, and tissue. Those foods should be chosen that best supply the elements needed for building up the body. So when we understand the importance of the food we eat, that it builds our body and our blood, we have to know, be selective in what we put into it. In this choice, appetite is not a safeguard. And this statement was taken from Ministry of Healing, chapter 23 on a diet and health. And it is something that all of us should read. We're going to look in depth about the diet before and during pregnancy. The effect of prenatal influence is by many parents looked upon as a matter of little moment, but heaven does not regard it so. So we don't think about, apart from eating when the desire takes us, we don't think about the influence that food have on our parents and on the unborn child. The message sent by the angel of God and twice given in the most solemn manner shows it to be deserving of our most careful thought. In the words spoken to the Hebrew mother, God speaks to all mothers in every age. Let her beware, the angel said. All that I command her, let her observe. The well-being of the child will be affected by the habits of the mother. Her appetites and passions are to be controlled by principle. And too often we have the persons, pregnant women, being encouraged by others to eat based on their cravings, based on their passions, and it's not controlled by principle. So we are introducing something new to persons now, that they ought to eat according to principle and not by passion. There is something for her to shun, something for her to work against. If before the birth of her child, she is self-indulgent, if she's selfish, impatient, and exacting, these traits will be reflected in the disposition of the child. Thus, many children have received as a birthright almost unconquerable tendencies to evil. So this statement alone should help mothers and fathers understand the importance of being very selective about what they put into their system. The angel of God appeared to the wife of Manoah and informed her that she should have a son. And in view of this, he gave her the important directions. Now, therefore, beware, I pray thee, and drink not wine nor strong drink, and eat not any unclean thing. So we see here that God is not slack concerning what a pregnant woman should eat, what parents should put into their body when they're thinking about making a baby. Because not just about the woman. We must understand that if the man eats unhealthy as well, then these unhealthy food that is eaten is going to build up his system, and he contributes to half the gene of the baby. So he too is cautioned to eat properly. But if the mother unswervingly adheres to right principle, if she's temperate and self-denying, if she is gentle and kind and unselfish, she may give her child these same precious traits of character. Very explicit was the command forbidding the use of wine by the mother. Every drop of strong drink taken by her to gratify appetite endangers the physical, mental, and moral health of her child, and is a direct sin against her creator. Because the scripture tells us, if you destroy this body, this temple, then you too, God will destroy. And we don't want the Lord to destroy us. So we want to know, get this information so that we can empower our young men and our young women who are planning to have children on the dangers of their relationship towards food and how very selective they ought to be in choosing the type of food they eat. How to maintain a healthy pregnancy? To maintain a healthy pregnancy, approximately 300 extra calories are needed every day. These calories should come from a balanced diet of protein, fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. Sweets and fats should be kept to a minimum. And this is from John Hopson's medicine, a document that was written entitled Nutrition During Pregnancy. A healthy pregnancy diet will promote your baby's growth and development. Understanding which nutrients you need most and where to find them is very important. During pregnancy, the basic principles of healthy eating remain the same. Get plenty of fruits, vegetables, whole grains, lean protein, and healthy fats. However, a few nutrients in a pregnant diet deserve special attention, and this is what we are going to be looking at, okay? Now, it is always advised that when a couple begins to think about getting a baby or creating a baby, if they have an unhealthy lifestyle, they should start preparing for this baby like about 3 months, 3 to 4 months before the actual event, so to speak. So, you know, a lot of women or parents are into setting date when they want the pregnancy to occur. So if you're thinking to have a December baby, then now is the time to start making lifestyle changes to have a healthy baby. It's not just about the food. Lifestyle is important as well, because what you do is going to influence the character, the life force of this unborn child. So it's important that your lifestyle and nutrition are changed to promote the best avenue, the best opportunity for this child to be at his best. So some of the key nutrients that need to be looked at during pregnancy, one of them is folate, right? Which is folic acid, right? And this prevents brain and spinal cord birth problems. Folate is a B vitamin that helps prevent serious problems with the developing brain and spinal cord. The baby might come with what we call neural tube defects. The scientific form of folate found in supplements and fortified foods is known as folic acid. So it's really the same thing, right? Folic acid supplementation has been shown to decrease the risk of premature birth and having a low birth weight baby. How much and where should we find folate or folic acid? 400 micrograms a day of folate is a good recommendation before conception has occurred, and 600 to 1,000 micrograms during the pregnancy. You can find folate or folic acid in our fortified cereals. These are our best sources: dark green leafy vegetables, citrus fruits, and dried beans. And lentils are good sources of natural occurring folate. So I decided to give you a recipe, a folate-rich meal. What can we make? We can make a red lentil pancakes. Lentils are rich in folate. So to make this pancake, you can either have a savory pancake or a sweet pancake. If you're going to make a savory pancake, you would use 2 cups of red split lentils, or 2 cups of red lentils, really. And you're going to soak it overnight. 1 teaspoon of pinky Himalayan sea salt, 1 tablespoon of chia seeds grounded, 1.5 teaspoon of chickpea flour or oats flour, and this is really optional. It makes the batter thicker and easier to come out as a pancake, but it's optional. 1 teaspoon of turmeric, 1/2 teaspoon of coriander, and this is also optional. 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, and your cold pressed coconut oil. If you want a sweet pancake, then you would eliminate the garlic powder, eliminate the onion powder, and add 2 tablespoonfuls of honey to taste. So you're going to soak your lentils overnight, drain and rinse your lentils in the morning, Place them in your blender together with the rest of the ingredients and add like about 1/4 cups of water and blend. Blend until smooth. The batter should be pourable, so it shouldn't be very thick, right? No thicker than crepe batter, right? You may need to add a little bit more water if it is too thick, especially if you add your oats or your chickpea flour, right? Heat up a non-stick pan to low medium heat. Brush it with lightly with your cold pressed coconut oil, or if you're using a silicone, use a silicone brush. But if you're using a non-stick pan, you may not need your teaspoon of oil to brush it, right? And then you are just going to flip them when it's gonna bubble and the edges will form, and you flip it, right? And you cook it on both sides, and then you can enjoy this pancake with your favorite fruit or with another protein, especially if you didn't put any chickpea flour in there. You could eat it with peanut butter. You can have it with anything else that you want. It's a really nice pancake, okay? All right, let's look at your next nutrient that is very important to the pregnant woman. Calcium. And everybody knows you need calcium to strengthen your bones. So you and your baby need calcium for strong bones and teeth. Calcium also supports healthy functioning of the circulatory, the muscular, and the nervous systems. How much do you need? You need 1,000 micrograms a day. And pregnant teenagers is going to need more. So they'll take like about 1,300 milligrams a day. And you can get your calcium from your fortified cereals again, your spinach, your cabbage, your seeds, and your nuts. Let's look at another recipe, a calcium-rich recipe. And we're gonna do a black bean soup. What we need for this is 2 medium yellow onions, chopped, 3 celery ribs or stalks, whatever you want to call it, and you're gonna finely chop those, 2 large carrots, peeled and diced, 2 medium sweet potatoes, and this is optional, 2 medium turnips, 6 garlic cloves pressed and minced, 1/2 cup of scallion minced, 1 teaspoon of grounded cumin, 1 teaspoon of parsley, 3 to 4 cups of cooked black beans, right? So you're going to use your beans that are already cooked, 3 to 4 cups of water, 1/2 cup of coconut milk. And if you're using your coconut milk, then you can use less water. Coconut milk is really optional. For persons with high cholesterol in pregnancy or may have cardiac issues, you can eliminate your coconut milk. 1/4 cup of chopped fresh cilantro. Again, this is optional. If you're not somebody who likes lots of spices, then you can tweak the amount of spices that you're putting in terms of your cilantro or your scallion or your garlic and your parsley. You can decide how much you're going to put in there. 2 tablespoons of fresh lemon juice and a pinch of your pink Himalayan sea salt to taste. So we're going to bring to boil the water, add your onions, celery, carrot, and your salt. Cook, stirring constantly until the vegetables are soft. About 10 to 15 minutes should do it because the piece is already cooked. Stir in your garlic and your cumin and the other seasonings. And then you pour in your 3 cups of beans and bring it to a simmer over medium to high heat. Cook with reduced heat. So you're going to turn down your flame and allow it to simmer until the broth is flavorful and the beans are very tender. And this usually takes about 30 minutes, depending on your heat and the potware that you're using and things like that. You're gonna then blend 1 cup. Remember, it was 4 cups of beans and you had 3 cups. Now you're gonna blend 1 cup with your coconut milk or just a little bit of water and until smooth. And you're gonna use this to thicken your soup. So you're gonna add this puree to the soup, stir in the rest of your seasonings, and there you have it. You can serve this thick soup, black bean soup, with tortillas or crackers or bread or even your rice. So it could be like a stew instead of a soup, right? Especially if you eliminate the turnip and your sweet potato. It could be like a stew. And this is a calcium-rich meal. Okay, let's look at our proteins. Protein promotes growth. Protein is crucial for your baby's growth throughout pregnancy. An additional 78 grams of protein per day is required during pregnancy for the rapid growth of the fetus, for the enlargement of the uterus, and the mammillary glands for breastfeeding, the placenta formation of the amniotic fluid, and storage reserves for labor, delivery, and lactation. So you're really building the structure of the woman before and during pregnancy to enable her to be able to even to deliver and to breastfeed afterwards. Protein is also required to build strong bones and teeth, which starts growing at about 8 weeks. So ensure that you get enough protein throughout the pregnancy, especially during the 2nd and the 3rd trimester when the baby is growing the most rapidly, all right? Where can we get our protein? Of course, we are going to recommend a diet that God would be approved of. So our sources of protein is going to come mainly from plants. That's the only thing that I'm recommending. So you can get your protein, your plant protein from your pulse and your lentils and your kidney beans. And you can even sprout your beans. And this is going to increase the calcium and protein content. And it makes it easy to for the woman to digest it, right? When it's sprouted. You can get protein from your vegetables, such as your green peas and your broccoli. You can get protein from your nuts and your seeds, like your almond and your walnut and your cashew and your sesame seeds, just to mention a few, right? So there we have your variety of peas. Don't stick to one type of peas. Try to incorporate a variety of peas into the meal. Now you find that women may have cravings, and you will have cravings if your diet is not balanced or very nutritious. Whenever you have cravings, this is an indication that there is some lack, right? And in another lecture, we will look at what these cravings mean. Why do I crave salty things? What does it mean? Why do I crave sweet things? What does it mean? Why do I crave items that are not food, like, chalky things and things like that? What does this mean? So in another presentation, we will look at those kind of things. As we continue, iron is another essential nutrient that you want for the pregnant woman or the woman who is in her prenatal stage, which means she's planning for pregnancy, but it's not quite yet there. And iron prevents anemia, right? You don't want to have a low iron count or a low, what we call hemoglobin. The body uses iron to make hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is a protein in the red blood cells that carries oxygen to the body's tissue. During pregnancy, you need double the amount of iron than a non-pregnant woman would need. The pregnant woman body needs iron to make blood to supply oxygen to the baby. So if you are not making, if you don't have enough iron, then the baby is going to have less, it's going to be supplied, given less oxygen, okay? Where can you get your iron? You can get iron from fortified cereals, beans, vegetables, spirulina, blackstrap molasses, and even soy, right? Sometimes supplementation is recommended. If supplementation, especially if the woman has a low iron content already, if she's anemic going into the pregnancy. So even if you eat a healthy diet, you may miss out on key nutrients. Taking a daily prenatal vitamin, ideally starting at least 3 months before pregnancy or conception, which I mentioned before, this can help fill in the gap. So if you start preparing for the pregnancy, this can ward off the need for supplementation. If you are considering taking a herbal supplement during pregnancy, consult your healthcare provider first. Some herbal supplements may be harmful to your pregnancy. And you know, this sometimes is because there's no they're not really trusting the herbal supplement, but sometimes not everything vegan or herbal is really truly herbal or vegan. You have to look at the source of that particular supplement to really understand if it is of benefit to you. How much iron does a woman need? If the woman is not taking enough iron and she doesn't have enough iron stores or get enough iron during pregnancy, she may develop iron deficiency anemia. She may develop headaches or become fatigued, having fainting spells, have difficulty sleeping. Severe iron deficiency anemia during pregnancy also increases the risk of premature birth or having a low birth weight baby and even postpartum depression. So we don't want that. So we want to encourage our women to eat healthy. And she will need like about 27 milligrams of iron daily. So how to boost your iron while you're pregnant or getting there? You can have a iron boosting drink. And this is made from your stinging nettle, or some people call it cowich, blackstrap molasses, a teaspoon of spirulina, and your lemon juice to help the absorption of your iron. So add the nettle to 4 ounces of hot water, steep it for 50 minutes, strain, then add your other ingredients. And this can make a very nice tasting tea and help to boost your iron. Again, you can find your iron in cereal, as was said before, your spinach, your beans, asparagus, even oranges, and oh no, this is really talking about folic acid. Sorry, the wrong insert there. Okay, let's look at a healthy meal plan. What does a healthy meal plan looks like? During pregnancy, you want to build your healthy eating plan. You want to concentrate on whole foods that will give you a higher amounts of best quality of nutrients. You would need even if you were not pregnant. These are the things that you would need. You need your protein, you need your vitamins and minerals, you need healthy fats, complex carbohydrates, and you need your fibers and your fluids. And water intake is so important. So we're going to look again at your these groups that is going to provide a nutritious plan for your meal. How do I put my meal together? I'm going to be using foods from these groups to create a balanced meal. So we're going to look at your legumes. Legumes, this group of food includes your lentils, your peas, your bean, chickpeas, soybeans, and even peanuts. Peanuts can be, when cooked, as in having peanut porridge, or when boiled, it acts as a legume. Legumes are great plant-based sources of fiber, protein, iron, folate, and calcium, all of which your body needs more of during pregnancy. Folate is one of the most essential B vitamins. It's also called B9, right? So it's called B9 or folic acid. And it's very important for you and your baby, especially during the first trimester. And remember, we said that it can prevent the occurrence of neural tube defects or spinal cord injury. You need at least 600 micrograms of folate every day, which can be a challenge to achieve with foods alone. But adding in your legumes can help get you there, along with supplementation. So it's okay to take supplements, but as I said, just be careful of the ones that you choose. Legumes are generally very high in fiber too, right? Some varieties are also high in iron, magnesium, and potassium. Consider adding legumes to your diet with meals like hummus or whole grain toast or black beans, and you can have this with a taco salad or a curry lentil, all right? Let's look at a recipe using your legumes. So we're going to look at a pinto bean spread. That looks so yummy, right? So you're going to use a tablespoonful of, you're going to need a tablespoon of olive oil, 3/4 cups of chopped red onion, 2 cups of cooked pinto beans, 2 garlic cloves chopped, 3 tablespoons full of chopped red bell peppers, because we don't use green bell peppers or what we call sweet peppers. Always use the ripe ones, so red or yellow or orange. 1.5 teaspoon of lemon juice, 1/4 teaspoon of dried oregano, 3/4 cups, that is so rough, 3/4 teaspoon of pink salt. Can you imagine if you put 3/4 cup of pink salt? That meal could not be eaten. So that's 3/4 teaspoon of pink sea salt. And you're just going to puree your cooked pinto bean, right? So you can use you can put it in your blender and blend it. And if you don't have a blender, then you can put it in a bowl and use a bottle to just smash the peas as best as you can. But it's best if you put it in a high-speed blender. It's make it nice and smooth. Gonna add your lemon juice to that. Then add a little water if it is not, but don't make it too runny, right? Then you're just going to add your onion and your garlic and your sweet peppers and in a saucepan with your olive oil and saute those, then add beans and combine them, allowing it to simmer on low heat for about 4 to 5 minutes, and voila, you have a tasty pinto bean spread that you can add to your crackers or your taco, that's really good. Or your baked potatoes, which is what we're going to talk about next. Your sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes are not only delicious when cooked, but you have so many different ways of cooking them. They are also rich in beta carotene, a plant compound that is converted into vitamin A in your body. Vitamin A is essential for your baby's development. You want to watch out for excessive amounts of animal-based sources of vitamin A, right? But as I said before, I'm really promoting God's plan for your diet so that both you and your baby can be the best of what the Creator designed for you to be. Sweet potatoes they're all over. You can easily get them, right? And they're a good source of beta carotene and fiber. Fiber helps keep you fuller longer and reduces your blood sugar spikes and improves digestive health, which is a good reason to have it, right? So it helps to prevent the pregnant woman from getting constipation as well. And now we're going to be looking at your broccoli and dark leafy vegetables. What nutrients do we get from these? So your broccoli and your dark green vegetables, such as your kale and your spinach, are packed with so many nutrients that you need, whether getting before you're pregnant or during your pregnancy. Even if you don't love eating them, they are often, you can just do them different ways to add them to your dishes, right? And there are different ways that you can do them to make them more palatable, right? You have to retrain your taste buds. Benefits include they are rich in fiber, vitamin C, vitamin K, vitamin A, calcium, iron, folic, and potassium. They are like a bonanza of green goodness, your dark green leafy vegetables and your broccoli. So you can add these to your regular vegetables. So since you might not like these type of vegetables, you can add them to other vegetables like your cabbage or other vegetables that to complement the taste, and so to speak. So let's look at a recipe using your spinach, and this one tastes good, right? Your spinach, kale, broccoli juice, right? So you're gonna need 1.5 cup of kale and spinach, or so you can just don't use 1 cup of spinach. Just make the 1.5 cup should be made up of kale and spinach. 1/2 cup of coconut water and the jelly. 1/4 cup of cane juice as your sweetener. If you don't have cane juice, you can use honey. You'd use less. 1 cup of water, and you need 5 lightly steamed broccoli ferrets. That's the little tree branch thingy of your broccoli. That's what is called your ferrets, okay? Mix all your ingredients into a blender and blend until smooth. Pour and enjoy. You don't even need to strain this one. Just enjoy it. Then we're going to be looking at our berries. Berries are so nice. I haven't really met anybody who don't like berries. So give your pregnant woman, or if you're pregnant, have lots and lots of berries. Berries hold a lot of goodness in their tiny packages, right? They are filled with water, they are healthy carbs, they have lots of vitamin C, fiber, and antioxidants. Berries have a relatively low glycemic index, so you should not cause major spikes in your blood sugar. So it's okay to have them. Berries are also a great snack as they contain both water and fiber. They provide a lot of flavor and nutrition, but with relatively few calories. Now, when we talk about snack, we're not talking about snacking between your meals. A snack should be something that you use to, like at the end of your meal, like maybe you could have some dry berries at the end of your meal, or you have fresh berries at the beginning of your meal. You can have them in the form of smoothies or spread or jam, right? So that's what we call snack. When we say snack, we're not talking about having them in between your meals, because we are counseled to have set meal time. Yes, even when you're pregnant. So it's so important that you eat balanced so you do not get food cravings. Some of the best berries to eat while pregnant are your blueberries, raspberries, goji berries, strawberries, and acai berries. These are packed with nutrients. And I have an awesome berry blast for you. It's your tropical raspberry avocado smoothie. And for that, you need 1 avocado, of course, ripe, peeled and pitted, 3/4 cups of coconut water, 1/2 cup of raspberries, and 1/2 cup of your non-dairy yogurt or non-dairy milk. You can use your coconut milk or you can use your almond milk. Blend this together, blend all the ingredients together, and you can use, it's best if you use frozen fruits, If you're using fresh fruits, then you can add ice to the mixture. Is best tasting if it is cooled, not cold, but cool. Now, we're going to look at your whole grains. Unlike your refined grains, whole grains are packed with fiber, vitamins, and plant compounds. Your oats, your quinoa, your brown rice, your wheat berries, like your buckwheat or your other berries, and your barley are so much better than your white bread or your white pasta or your white rice. Some whole grains like oats and quinoa also contain a fair amount of protein, so you're getting 2 for 1. They also hit a few buttons that are often lacking in pregnant women, right? So your vitamin Bs, you can get your vitamin Bs, you can get your fiber, and you can get your magnesium. Did you know that oftentimes pregnant women have nausea or morning sickness when their magnesium level is low? Quite recently, since week actually, a client called and she was having terrible nausea and vomiting. And she said, nurse, I can't move. And I said to her, have you been taking your magnesium? Because I'd spoken to her before. And she said, no. And I advised her again to take her magnesium and reminded her of all the foods that was rich in magnesium. And so what she did, she made a tea of peppermint, ginger, and her magnesium, right? So she just emptied the magnesium capsule into the tea and had it. And she said she felt so much better. She was able to eat. And brethren, she did not eat anything small. She had rice and peas and stew. And for breakfast, she had cornmeal porridge and bread. And for dinner, she had rice and peas and stew. So she went straight into meal. She didn't have to eat anything like soup or, get her stomach up there. No, it worked so beautifully. She just went ahead and started having her meal. Avocados, we are into pear time, and we over here in Jamaica just love our avocados. It's just so nice. Avocados are an unusual fruit because they contain a lot of monounsaturated fatty acids. This makes them taste buttery and rich, perfect for adding depth and creaminess to your dish, and that is so true. They're also high in fiber, B vitamins, your vitamin K, potassium, copper, vitamin E, and your vitamin C. Because of their high content, they are considered to be healthy fats. They also have folate and potassium. Avocados are a great choice for pregnant women, or if you're planning to get pregnant. Some women say that avocados help relieve nausea, possibly because of the potassium and the magnesium in the fruit, because as we said before, they are rich in these 2 nutrients. Potassium may also help relieve leg cramps, a common ailment of pregnant women. And leg cramps are often caused by low potassium and magnesium. And we have to just stick it in there. Please remember that these women need to be drinking a lot of water as well, right? Chlorine is important for the development of your baby's brain and nerves. Chlorine deficiency may cause neural tube defects and lifetime memory impairments. Your avocados can also help with this. Your healthy fats help build skin, brain, and tissues of the newborn, or of the baby rather. The folate can help to prevent neural tube defects. And do you see how often we're stressing the neural tube defects? Pregnancy nutrition or nutrition before pregnancy is so important to prevent miscarriages, because most miscarriages are caused from malformations, right? So it's nature's way, it's God's way of eliminating those things that are not perfect, right? So it's very important that we have good nutrition before or coming into pregnancy, and by far the first trimester, going into the second trimester. It's just so crucial. And you can use your avocados to make your guacamole. You can use it to make your smoothie. You can just have it with your bread. It's just so versatile. And here I have a recipe of your guacamole, or for want of a better term, your avocado spread. So you're going to use 3 medium avocados, a teaspoon, half teaspoon of pink Himalayan sea salt, 3 tablespoons of lemon juice. And you can actually use a little bit because you don't want it to be too watery. 1/4 cup of diced red onions, 1 tablespoon of chopped cilantro, and 1 teaspoon of garlic. And if you don't like a lot of spices, then you can tweak the amount that you want to put in this, but this combination is just awesome. We're going to be looking at our dried fruits. Dried fruit is generally high in calories, fibers, and vitamins and minerals. 1 piece of dried fruit contains the same amount of nutrients as fresh fruit, just without all the water and in a much smaller form. And I have to warn you, because they're dried, it means then that a lot of times persons eat more. So it means that you get more of the nutrients when you consume more of the fruit that way. 1 serving of dried fruit can provide a large percentage of your recommended vitamins and minerals, especially your folic, your iron, and your potassium. Prunes are rich in fiber, potassium, and vitamin K. They are natural, they are natural laxatives and may be very helpful in relieving constipation. Dates are high in fiber, potassium, iron, and plant compounds, and they're just absolutely lovely to have, lovely to add to your meals.
Good. Good evening, Winston Gordon joining late. Sorry about that. Hello.
Okay, sir. Thank you for coming in. All right, as I continue, water, right? Did I mention the pregnant woman needs to have lots of water? The woman needs to stay hydrated, right? And especially when she's pregnant, we all need to drink water, but especially when you're pregnant. During pregnancy, the blood volume increases about 45%. So the woman body is at, your body will channel hydration to your baby. So if you're dehydrated, this is going to be passed on, but the baby won't get enough blood supply and will be dehydrated as well. So you want to watch your water intake so that you don't become dehydrated. Symptoms of mild dehydration can include headaches, anxiety, tiredness, bad mood, reduced memory, and even difficulty sleeping or problems sleeping. Increasing your water intake may also help relieve constipation and reduce the risk of urinary tract infections, which is a common thing in pregnancy and can be deleterious. Let's look at our mangoes. Mangoes are another great source of vitamin C. 1 cup give you 100% of your recommended daily allowance. So eat up your mangoes. Mangoes are also high in vitamin A, and your vitamin A deficiency at birth is associated with low immunity and a higher risk for complications like diarrhea and respiratory infections. So you don't want to be deficient in your vitamin A. Although rare, it's possible also to get too much vitamin A, and usually this is from not by eating too much mangoes, but by eating foods rich in vitamin A and doing your supplements. All right. So we don't want you to put on too much weight with your mangoes, but just know that's a good source of your vitamin A. Let's look at your oranges. Of course, we know that oranges are filled with vitamin C. Okay. and it helps you to stay hydrated, right? And it also provides you with folate, which is another type of B vitamin, and helps prevent brain and spinal cord defects, right? It's recommended that the pregnant woman takes about 400 micrograms of folic acid per day before you start trying to get pregnant. So before you start the pregnancy journey, 400 micrograms of folic is needed. And while you're pregnant, 600 micrograms, right? And oranges are great sources of that, okay? Let's look at your lemons. In one study done in 2014, pregnant people reported some success in using lemons or lemon scent to help relieve pregnancy-related nausea. And I know that this is true. Lemons are also high in vitamin C, and they help stimulate the digestive system to relieve constipation, right? So consider adding your lemons to your water or to your tea. And it's best having your lemons early morning as a way to cleanse the system. And if you're going to have lemon water regularly, please use a straw because it may damage your enamel of your tooth. So it's best to use it with a straw. Let's look at your bananas, right? Bananas are another source of potassium, which is very important. Your B6, your vitamin C, and fiber. It helps prevent constipation and wards off worrying and anxiety, and it can provide you with iron as well, okay? Now, we are advised to not eat overripe or unripe fruits. So let's look at this banana. This first section here, right? It has its highest resistance of starch, but it is underripe. If you have a banana like this, you should not have this banana. It's not yet ready to be eaten. Your best type of banana is your barely ripe or your ripe. This part here, right? The barely ripe it has a higher antioxidant level and it is sweeter. But this is where you want to have your bananas, your barely ripe or your ripe bananas. When it's very ripe, right, you have vitamin and mineral loss. So when it is it's very sweet at that time, but you're losing nutrients. And when it's overripe, it's at the stage where it begins to ferment and we don't want to eat fermented foods, okay? So just some tips on your bananas. Okay, your apples, they say an apple a day keeps the doctor away, right? So apples are high in fiber and a good source of vitamin C. Plus they contain vitamin A, potassium, and pectin. Pectin is a prebiotic that feeds the good bacteria in your gut, and you want to have good gut health. So you want to, if you are pregnant, to have good gut health, or if you're advising someone, to just advise them so that they too can get good gut health. Apples are portable and can be added to many recipes, right? So you can put it in your bag as a snack and easy to go for, right? Now, our Jamaican apple is not as sturdy as the American apple, but the Otaheite apple is just as sweet and it's packed with water and lots of nutrients and minerals. So how much fruit should a pregnant woman eat? Medical professionals usually recommend eating 2 to 4 servings of fruit and 4 to 5 servings of vegetables each day. In general, 1 serving of fruit is like a medium piece of whole fruit, right? Like about what can hold in your palm of your hand, right? Or a cup of cut fruit, right? And for vegetables, like half cup of raw or cooked vegetables. Now, remember, we don't do raw vegetables generally. We have raw water-filled vegetables, and by that I mean your lettuce or your sprouted vegetables. We have those raw. But other vegetables, we are counseled to steam them lightly, steam them before having them, even if you're using them to make vegetable juices, okay? Right. I think some of this information has been covered already. So, okay, foods to avoid. We're coming down to the end of the presentation. Foods to avoid so that the pregnant woman, the woman who's thinking to become pregnant, can be healthy and strong. What are the foods should you avoid? And remember, this information is not about the woman alone. It is important that the man who is going to be contributing to half of the genes of this baby eat properly as well. Meat in general, especially raw or uncooked meats, organ meats like liver, kidney, and tripe, please avoid. These are foods that you should avoid. Seafood that doesn't have fins and scales, like oyster, lobster, shrimp, crabs, mussel, these are what the scripture tells us are unclean. So we should avoid these types of food because of the toxin levels that is in them. Other sea creatures considered to be unclean, like your tuna or your sharks, or yes, people eat shark meat, swordfish, and your marlin, due to high levels of mercury and urea, should be avoided if you're trying to get your system healthy and strong. And even if you're not trying to get your system healthy and strong, it makes best sense to put things in your body that is going to contribute to your life's force to be at its optimum, right? Because if you have a poor life force, it means that when you become sick, you're out of here, right? It's going to be so easy for disease and sickness to overtake you. Foods to avoid, your animal milk. Cow's milk belongs to the cows. Do not give your babies cow's milk, right? So you're going to avoid animal milk and your milk products like your cheese, especially moldy, ripened soft cheese or your soft blue cheese, because there's a high load of bacteria that is found in these cheese. And this is well known. It is bacteria that is used to culture these cheese, right? So the pregnant woman, the woman who is planning to be pregnant, the father who is planning to impregnate someone should avoid these types of food. We all should avoid these types of food, right? We should also avoid your eggs, your quail and duck, goose or chicken eggs should be avoided, especially you should avoid eating them raw. Among the list of foods to be avoided are your caffeine drinks or foods, right? Your energy drink, your sodas, yes, caffeine are in sodas. Your green tea, black tea, chocolate, yes, even your dark chocolate is filled with caffeine. The cocoa or foods that are made with these items, they are a high level of caffeine are found in these type of foods, right? High levels of caffeine can lead to low birth weight and have also been linked to miscarriages, okay? So if you have an addiction to caffeine, it's about time to try to get rid of that addiction. One study released in early 2008 found that drinking just 2 cups of coffee a day or 5 cans of caffeinated soda, and it was estimated that these 2 cups of coffee or 5 cans of caffeinated soda contains about 200 milligrams of caffeine. They double the woman's risk of miscarriage. And this was found on WebMD, right? So you want to tell a woman to avoid those things. And these are your harmful, all of these having caffeine, okay? Other foods that you want to avoid, other foods that you want to avoid, you want to avoid some herbs. There are herbs that are definitely unsafe for pregnancy because they might cause premature labor or other problems. It can cause miscarriages as well. So herbs to avoid during your pregnancy include those that are high uterine stimulants, like your aloe, your barberry, your black cohosh, blue cohosh, your dong quai, your feverfew, golden seal to some extent, your juniper berries, your wild yam, and your motherwort. Also, your passion flower, yumbi, pardiarco, pennyroyal, evening primrose. We did mention feverfew already, kava kava, and senna. These are herbs that should be avoided during pregnancy. So what is our take-home message? Our take-home message is that what you eat becomes you. So in order to make good blood, we have to eat good food, and that those good food will nourish us and provide good nutrients for the woman, for the man, for the unborn baby. I thank you. And that is the end of my presentation.
My sister, I thank you so very, very much for the presentation. I really believe that we were all blessed. I certainly was. And if people have questions, this is the opportunity to raise your virtual hand so that you'll be acknowledged to ask, or you can put your questions in the chat. In the meantime, let me just welcome those who we did not welcome at the beginning. Certainly they were not here for the first welcome, and I welcome one and all. In particular, I welcome Dr. Lamley. Thank you for joining us at this time. While people get ready to ask a question, let me ask something though, something I noticed, nurse. I don't know if my eyes are playing tricks on me, but I saw on many of your recipes, you did have lemon juice. Is there any particular reason why we included lemon juice in the smoothie, in the soup, and something else? We had the lemon juice. Can you help?
The lemon juice, especially with the berries, will help to activate the absorption of your vitamin C's.
Oh, okay.
That's basically it, yes, to get the absorption of your vitamin C's.
Another question. I really like how the presentation went this afternoon. You gave us information, not just for the woman, but for the baby. We knew how this, if you take this, you must take this amount at this point in time, and this is the benefit. And I really, really like that. And the added touch was the recipes. I thank you so much for that presentation. But one other thing I want to ask though, see now we're talking about pregnancy and nutrition. What advice would you give a pregnant woman if she found out she had gestational diabetes? What should she do? What should she put in her diet? What should her nutrition look like?
Okay, I wouldn't change much about the nutrition, but what I would do is encourage the lifestyle changes, the walking, the 8 laws of health, pure air, sunlight, all of these things we want to encourage them to do. In regards to the diet, if she's not already on a meal time, then we want to structure the meal time to have set meal times. Of course, with other diabetics, you want to keep away from high carbohydrate foods that will give you more complex sugars. So you want to kind of avoid that. You want to kind of change her meals to those that don't incorporate like honeys and your dates, and not having a lot of sweet fruits. Incorporate more of your tomatoes, your cucumbers, some of your neutral tasting foods, right? But the key things are doing the lifestyle changes and maintaining a set meal time. And those are good advice for managing gestational diabetes.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for that. Thank you. Is there anybody with a question? This is an opportunity for you to ask, raise your hand, make a comment, or you can put your comment in the chat if you so desire. I like the principle and not passion. And I think that's not just for pregnant women only, it's supposed to be for all of us.
All of us. We are so driven by our passion to
appetite, yes. We like this tasting like this, and whatever it is, we go with appetite and not necessarily with principle. And that is an interesting thing. Nurse, you have been muted. Yes, thank you so much.
Sorry about that. I was saying that we are so driven with our taste. And each time I find myself, I'm a sweet tooth girl. I love sweet fruits. But I have pledged to eat, some of the sour fruits, you're not so sweet fruits. Because when you think about being driven by this umami taste, this taste for certain things, it is diet that got the better of us. So we must overcome diet, and we must see food in its right perspective. Dr. Lumley always said that food will kill you and say, where's the next victim? So we have to control ourselves and try to love those things that we don't like. I have to try to love cucumbers and certain vegetables. Yeah, we all need to make a pledge to do.
That's right. That's the truth. And as we say that, I invite Dr. Lamley, please address us. We can't have you just sitting here and listening in. We need to hear that voice, that very familiar voice.
It is so sweet just to listen and not saying anything. Hi, how are you, sister?
Good to see you, good to hear you. Good to know that you're spending time with us.
Yes, it is good to be here. We're supposed to be in a training, no? But
yes.
Our students over so that they could be a part of the presentation.
Right. Again, if anybody wants a recording, my number is in the chat. WhatsApp me to 868-330-2126 and give me your email address and I will send the recording for you. Thank you so very much.
Yes. My mic went mute just now. So
yes.
Yes.
But you all are having a good time. How is the training going though? When is that going to come to an end? Dr. Lamley? We're having some challenges with Dr. Lamley. Sonia, your hand is up. I'm guessing you want to say something to us.
I just want to, even though I'm not going to be pregnant anytime soon.
Oops, sorry. Yes, go ahead. Sorry about that.
Am I unmuted? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Good afternoon to everyone.
Good afternoon,
Thank you, nurse, for your information on pregnant. I don't think I'm going to be anytime soon.
You're welcome, but you can pass the information to all those women who will be.
I will take it along with me. And I don't know what your name is, Miss, but you're very nice. And learning how to do what Sister Nurse do, to be a presenter. So that's very nice of you. And God bless you in your missionary journey and be the best that you can be. And God will do the rest. No, she don't.
Thank you for that comment. Thank you so much.
Sister Joy, that is Nana. So
Okay.
yes, that is Nana. So you can call her Nana. She is our motivator and our inspiration.
Praise the Lord, and I'm sure she's doing a good job because she.
Oh, she does. She's the oldest member in our training.
Okay, beautiful.
Oh yes, and she does wonders in it. All right.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
All right. Okay, students, you're here. Your time has expired. So you are going to be put in this platform so that you can come over for your final class.
That's
So
right.
Joy, we will talk. I think
Yes,
on Thursday.
my dear.
Yes.
Yes,
God
please.
bless you. Take
Have
care.
a great evening, everybody. All the best. Thanks for coming.
Yeah,
Bye.
thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Sister Walcott. It's been my
Thank you,
pleasure.
Sister Camille. All the
All
best.
right. We will talk.
Yes, please.